Oh damn! I should have done the Inigo Montoya scene.
You can... Oh my god.
Beg me for money. Beg me for power back. I want Adam back, you son of a bitch. Beg me for everything I want and more, or offer me everything I want and more. Huh. Yes, it is yours. I want Adam back, you son of a bitch.
See, Eve pretty much just like kind of went back on everything she promised she would help Sonus with.
Dude. What?
Well, no, because like I'm not saying I care. Like, I just think it's very fitting and it's funny to me how Sonus, like, his kind of entire thing was like, yeah, I kind of want to get revenge and answers on this dude, and then Eve just kills him.
Dude, Eve is pretty convinced right now that that's the dude who killed Adam.
Well, no, I'm just like, I don't know how to react to Sonus.
So this is just standing there with his fucking mouth open, like,
Oh,
Fuck.
I'd say Ludwig's immediate thought is, well, there's Rava's seat.
See, I was like, I don't know. I'm convinced Brass is he's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing is gonna be a thing.
okay, like he doesn't like the thing is like it's very clear that Brass doesn't need that much help to get onto the seat.
Right.
No, I
yeah.
know.
Well, but that's there's a lot of problems there is he has a lot of fan support, so we'll have to be careful with how that gets treated. Because if he storms back in and is like, I deserve it because I'm a blood relative,
But
and everybody
he-
loves him, that's gonna be a pickle.
we have so much evidence saying that he's just not gonna do.
Yeah. Unless his character literally just flips.
Yeah, right. As
Does
long
he
as
feel-
he's not actually that invested, we're good.
I've never accidentally done that before. Flip the character for convenience
yeah,
or whatever.
I'm-
But let's see. So I'm good if you guys are.
Yeah.
Let me see who's
Posture
later.
check.
Let's see. Oh, I'm really high up in the chat apparently. Okay. Okay. So I guess most of the people in the throne room are still here, right? You've like walked off, so it's like you guys. Solus, Sonus.
Yeah,
Oh,
she.
yeah, I suppose
she's
so,
at
yeah.
the organ after
Did anything
how
happen?
long?
Come again, Moto.
Hmm?
What'd you say?
Finally orgasmed after how long?
Connor, what'd you say?
Did anything happen with Dukius while I was grabbing my food?
No. Like Calvin died. Dukius kind of watched that happen, and I guess like, I think he kind of makes like a good noise, like an affirmative, like he nods.
Okay, cool. Are we still convinced he's like, or does Eve still think he's telling the truth and good, or not good?
I don't know, but also Eve walked off.
What I think is going on here is that he knew the whole time that Calvin had like hired Avarice to kill Adam. So all these questions about like, I do believe that he did answer truthfully that he didn't work with Avarice specifically, but he worked with somebody who worked with Avarice.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. But I will have like it'll be interesting to hear Grad's take.
Yeah.
Although I think Grad's take will just be Eve's take, which is just like, well, I killed him, so it doesn't matter. But I hope it's not. I hope we can get some solid deductions here.
I think Brass is the mastermind.
But like, it was very clear that Brass, if he wanted to be on the throne, he would have been on the throne already.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to be careful with how we address Brass coming back, but I don't think it's an immediate like
Yeah, like
insurrection type thing. It's just being careful so that it doesn't reach that point is important.
Yeah, so to me, yes, he could have gotten on the throne very easily, but I think there's also value in him purposefully making it look like he didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Agree. That just doesn't feel in line with his character.
Well, and the
As
thing
he's
is,
been-
he wanted to earn it, right? So he was, in theory, going to go do that and, earn the throne. But we kind of underscored that. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would just come back and be like, I'm revolting against you immediately.
yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm thinking is he could honestly actually just be good or
Mhm.
like not as bad as I'm thinking. But a part of me also thinks he could be trying to keep his
Ran back.
Welcome back.
he could be trying to keep his
We're discussing our conspiracy theories right now.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, Dukius was behind the whole thing, but no.
He could be trying to keep his no, I think it's Brass. He could be trying to keep his like following and support and his reputation, and kind of just having all these people set up a situation where he can
Right.
look like the good guy. I don't know.
Like, okay, so if Dukius is behind it all, his only motivation is that he wants a stronger military.
Nah, he probably broke
Yeah.
the spell. He's like
Yeah,
a 9th level
that's-
wizard.
That's a pretty weak story or plot element. He just
Well,
wants stronger
yeah.
military.
In the zone of truth, I mean, if you succeed, you can still be deceptive. It's just at a disadvantage. Like, you can straight up lie under it. It's just tougher.
Yeah, it's not as broken as prior Zone of Truth iterations.
Yeah, but if you're a level 20 character, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
a level 3 zone of truth. Huh.
Exactly.
That's like gum under my shoe.
And
Yeah.
then you'd probably know enough to be like, oh, you got me so good with your zone
Well-
of truth.
I don't think that. I think there's only 2 classes that get expert in will saves, and like spellcasting at level 20 is legendary. So like, you do lose a lot. Like it's not like the DCs are not as high.
No, there's actually So a lot of classes get it. Barbarians and rogues start with it. I think most casters start with it.
Oh, I think. Oh, so expert versus what's the other one? Master.
Oh, legendary. I actually don't think. What
Yeah.
class? I think only monks get legendary will save.
The thing is, even trained at the level we are, we get
It's a
like
lot.
I'm just trained. I get a +9. Like against a 22, yeah, it's not like I'm gonna fail more often than I don't. But I mean, I'll succeed some of those times. I think the move you did of having him be under watch for a while is a very good one.
Yar.
Like I don't have. I don't have like actual cause.
As that's okay.
We can talk with it
later. Yeah.
Like I don't have a motive for him to want to fucking kill someone. So like I'm just like trying to figure.
Yeah. I mean the military, but yeah. I think
Well, that's such a
let's-
weak. Like who are we really trying to fight here? Like
it's fine. I think the wise move is doing exactly what you're doing. Is take him in for questioning. Like we have a day or two. Treat him nice, but keep him where he's not going to be able to contact his army and tell them to do whatever. Just have a nice chat. Make sure that it all checks out.
So in the moment, what do you guys do? Like I assume most of the council members are free to go. You've got Dukius. What are you doing with him?
I guess that's up to
Dukius being
Solace.
all
Yeah.
over.
Like you're not in the jail.
We could always just put him under house arrest.
Oh man. It would suck to be put under house arrest in like your work cubicle, you know?
Yeah. Well, I would assume he has a decent house being
Oh,
a
yeah.
member of the council.
I thought you might have meant like at location, but that makes
Oh,
sense.
that would suck. Here's your work desk. You're stuck here.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't that much different than work, and that makes it worse.
Yeah.
I guess. So I ask Opulus, I'm like, what do we do with you? You're still under suspicion, and I'm afraid until I get to the bottom of this, I can't necessarily just let you go free.
If you were asking what I would do. Riverkeep
I
has
would-
dungeons. I would probably put me there.
Don't listen to him. He knows the way to get out.
Like, looks at you, Sonus, back at Solus. He's like,
That
"Neither
is-
here nor there from me,
I-
whether you leave me with
That is technically rightful. You're correct. Maybe we should follow this course of action for the time being.
kind of stops what he was saying, basically. But yeah, he was kind of saying like, whatever, put me in your dungeon, put me with the stags, who cares? Like, all the same to me, right now.
Right.
So yeah.
So someone says a question.
I don't like. I can almost guarantee you that like the Abishans have like some super secret dungeon that they take people to like get information out of them from. But like, I'm not gonna take him there because like there feels like a very high likelihood that he's gonna come out of it just fine. So I'm not gonna like
Right.
do that.
Right. That's why it's the house. If you're not really that suspicious, house arrest, a nicer dungeon, like we don't have to grill this guy necessarily.
Barbecue him maybe, but not grill.
Yeah, like toast, perhaps. Perhaps.
Let's put him in a smoker. Just let him know he'll be cooked eventually.
Yeah.
Bring a side of ajas, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, it's
Hold on, one more time. Side of what?
Ajas. Aujus.
Au jus?
I mean, if you say so.
See, I was about to be like, isn't
I
it
believe-
Aju? But then Grad said that, and I'm not gonna.
No, you're probably right. I've always heard it the other way, but again, Wisconsin, so you know,
I believe
Odd.
not
Gotcha.
exactly cultured up here, dear he.
Just sauce.
I don't
au jus.
appreciate going with the Minnesotan accent as your
Oh,
uncultured
I'm real
Wisconsin.
sorry about that.
Yeah, so I guess
Sona wants to know.
what is the group of people he's not associated with?
Wait. In what respect?
So Calvin was the darters.
Yeah. Oh, that's awkward. I have to figure out who's gonna take his. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's Donus's
No,
question.
well, there's a further question to that is, if that is coming up, Ludwig is going to mention the Harpies. Because we literally just opened up a spot on the council.
Yeah. The thing, like, if you take an
Remember-
organization that exists, take away their seat and put harpies in, there's gonna be salt.
That's
Well,
fair.
that's
That's
fair.
fair.
He's not a darter, but he's River Legion.
Wait,
Don't
Sonus?
want to say it. Technically,
What about
I am.
like Sonus, they're look. Ludwig, true. You have some associations with the dark. Sonus, there could be an argument if you wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
pursue that. If you wanted to do that, that's fine. I don't know if you,
You
do.
were a member of the darters, right?
It wouldn't like automatically happen, but you could pursue that.
Well, no. See, the thing is, Sonus could pursue that, but then still just travel.
Where's Helios? He's in the.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
The guy who get killed by goblin dogs.
That would be funny.
Helios comes up. He's like, "I claim the Salt Throne."
Invite Sam back. Just to be the.
Okay,
Just.
I need this question answered.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
So he's River Legion?
Yes, correct. Sorry. Yeah, that's his jam.
Is there a dungeon in the River Keep that's like watched over by the Presidia?
Yeah, totally.
That's where we're putting him.
Okay, cool. All right. So they will totally just take him there if you want to do that. If you want to like send them off with him.
Well, I don't.
You can also go with them. It's like, I think a lot of the council members have either stepped outside. There's a guy that needs to be cleaned up, so they're getting out of the way. But I think Flavian Senecio like walks up to you and says, I believe it is prudent to get you acquainted with the River Keep on short order.
Yes. You wouldn't want me living in my hut.
Would you like your ascension to the throne to be announced in any fashion? You said to hold off on a coronation.
Yes, we should probably. Ludwig, when do you think will be a good time to announce that I'm the emperor?
Well, that you probably want a little pomp and spectacle so that everyone knows. You're kind of the king of parties already, right? Your family could put something together quite quick, no? Makes this a time of celebration.
Let's do 3 days. That'll give us enough time to maybe solve this whole thing, and if it's not solved, then we just have a party, and hopefully he tries to assassinate me then.
I think even Senecio like half laughs at that.
Well, luckily, Senecio has guards for that now, right?
He nods.
Excellent. If you guys are going, I'll probably stay back and talk to the council members that are still here, but nothing that you probably care deeply about.
Oh, and as we're leaving, I am announcing that Ludwig is my advisor.
Oh yeah, okay. I think like Sinestro starts to. This is probably as people are starting to filter out, and so you announce that, and they all kind of look, and there's a couple of whispers, and I think the prince is the most like a goblin.
Hi.
A very
Yes.
accomplished one, but
Now,
Interesting
how many
times.
times do I have to tell everyone just because he's a goblin?
That's okay.
Doesn't-
It's okay. Let them underestimate me.
I think how quiet do you say that like loud enough for anyone to hear? Or are you-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the prince grins and he like wags a finger. He's like, "That won't be me."
Was this the same prince that tried to convince us to give him this skull or whatever?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow them.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. And Sinestro, he's going to Flavian, if we're on a first name basis, starts to
Ooh.
like round up the guards here. Says like, starts to get a retinue together to like bring Dukius to the River Keep, basically.
Would you prefer to be covered, Councilman? I would dislike greatly for your reputation to be tarnished if you were seen in this way.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Dukius kind of considers that for a moment. Says, an armed escort by the Presidia is no dishonor if you. And he, like, kind of holds up the shackles a little bit. He's like, "You could simply remove these until I arrive."
Of course.
He nods. And he's like, "I will happily surrender my weapon in exchange."
So I have the guards uncuff and unhand him.
Yep. So he'll just just unbelt his sheath, basically, take his sword away, and yeah, and they get together. And like, as you're walking out of the council chamber, everyone's kind of like gathering outside, getting into. They have little cliques of council members where they're discussing things. And as you like kind of walk through, they'll turn and bow, say, "Emperor Abishan," like just in turn, basically.
Yeah, and I bow probably like twice as deep as they do.
Fair. Okay.
But also probably because I'm probably a good 8 inches taller than the rest of them.
Fair. So,
Okay.
where exactly? What is the party's plan now? Where are you guys gonna head? Are you gonna go back with like this escort?
I think Ludwig wanted to talk to.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, right. I don't think that needs to be here. It's just a whole lot of getting to talk to the other council members and discuss the future.
Sure. That would be cool. Yeah. All right. So, and Eve, where did you? Let's see. Where did you hop off to after you kind of left the chamber? Are you like?
I'm just out front, kind of just like trying not to let people see her, like just like tearing up and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, sure. Maybe like out on the steps, kind of the front.
Yeah,
what do you call
basically.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the doors open, and like a bunch of Presidia guards start coming out, and they're like basically in 2 columns with Dukius between them. And so that kind of like happens kind of behind you, and then probably the party comes out with them.
Eve,
What?
do you feel better?
Oh, I thought you were sitting there, like on the steps. Be like, I have to be honest. I was hoping I would. I thought after all this time, this was the answer. This would... I don't really feel anything. It feels like such a very hollow victory. Like,
We've not
looking
won
over it.
yet.
And I can't tell if it's because maybe revenge wasn't the answer after all. Or maybe, just kind of like glaring, there's more to this whole thing than I originally thought.
That could certainly well be the truth.
You really think any council person who was loyal to the throne would have kept this secret about Adam? Doesn't matter how friendly the person was.
It's complicated when you're a part of a collective, I'm sure. You vote to reveal the information, you tie. That means you do nothing because it is not it's not at least a majority.
No, he knew about Calvin. Why didn't he come forth? Why didn't he say anything?
That's something we'll discover soon enough, I'm sure.
Perhaps. Did anyone by chance grab my sword?
Stonus probably would have.
Yeah, Solace forgot about it.
Yeah.
Stonus probably like went over to Calvin. What was the sword still in him?
No, she pulled it out and then just like dropped it on the ground and left. Making like a really big like scene of it like clattering and everything.
Yeah. Sonus would have probably picked it up and maybe kicked Calvin one more time.
He was kind of a sad goblin. Wait, that's not.
Oof.
That's not a good descriptor here. I'm sorry.
Wow.
No. Sad wretch. Sad wretch.
Oh, they mean the same thing apparently. Oh,
No, they don't.
okay.
Not at all. No, sorry. That was unrelated. Unbiased GM.
Okay, well, I'm going to be escorting these wonderful soldiers and my friend, the councilman Opulus, to the dungeons in the Riverkeep. You can feel free to join, or you can stay here with Ludwig and.
I just need a moment, is all.
Of course. And then I walk away.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head as Sonus, I think, just because he doesn't know if things have changed in the Darters. But, for the sake of it, I would say probably back when Sonus was in the group, there was a defining, like, thing or emblem that the leader of the Bronze Darters would have.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Sonus would look for it on Calvin's body.
Yeah. Let's see. It's a lot of like It's a lot of
Sonus
like
just doesn't know if it would have changed from
right.
then
No,
to now.
it's a very like tradition-based organization.
Okay.
You'd be surprised if it had, and yeah, like just on his cloak, there is an emblem. I'm just pulling up Calvin's sheet. See if I wrote it down. I think it's Sorry. It's like it's a little weird because it's like a stag head it's like a set of antlers basically is what it is. These kind of like wide branching kind of unreal antlers. It almost looks like a plant at first glance until you like kind of look close and see these like intertwined horns basically because the
Okay.
you know that the title of the chairperson of the Darters, the person who sits on the council, is the Guardian. So it matches like that kind of, even though the whole, yeah, matches that symbolism.
Sonus, because it's been so long, would probably actually first see it and be like, the green stags?
Right, there is no stag head, but yeah, it's right.
But then he would recall and grab it.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like a weird hierarchy where it's like a bunch of different type of fish in like the lower rankings, but then like the kind of like lodge leaders are like symbolized by a bear for some reason, and then like the horns for the head person. It's odd.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it was put together by a group of adventuring nerds who just went with what they thought was cool.
Is that a callback to a...
No, it's just it's like it's an adventuring guild, right? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I understood. That's
The closest-
That's actually. Really
I
funny.
thought you were trying to make a comment that like someone like Brad would understand from
No,
the
no.
previous game that you...
It's a guild made up of a bunch of player characters, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sonus would grab that and like toss in his jacket.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else of note on Calvin's body?
Like, yeah, let me pull up his sheet. There
Loot
is,
table?
he does sure have loot. He's got, like, I don't know, on him, he's probably got, like, he's got 35 gold. He's got a bank account somewhere that is inaccessible to you, but for now he's got 35 gold. And then he's got a +1 wounding heavy crossbow and a +1 wounding longbow.
Those are both useless to me, but I would grab... I think in my mind... Also, I understand I'm looting a dead body of a...
Council member?
Counselor.
Of a council member in the
They
council
do look-
chambers.
Very fancy. But yeah, the guards who are cleaning up are kind of like looking at you and at that. I think they've
So-
like gathered them up, right? And you're there, and they recognize you as a friend of the Emperor, and they look at Calvin, and they yeah, this
So
guy's
this
just got
would
both
make-
in his arms, and he says, "The artifacts of the deceased, should we hand them off to the second in command, or?"
I will take them and I'll figure out where to return them. I can return some of the gear to the darters.
Yeah, he'll nod and he'll give them to you.
Sonus fully intends. In his mind, he's like, huh, I wonder if Ludwig could use this crossbow. Looks pretty cool.
Right.
Maybe he can launch Blevin.
And I mean,
Levin, get up.
a heavy crossbow.
Is it a crossbow or a crossbow?
This is just Angry Birds, but with blood.
Oh, no. Would they have handed me pretty much all of his stuff?
They probably didn't give you the gold.
Yeah, okay. My thought process was if they handed me the gold, I would take it. If not, I'm not gonna go out of my way
Fair.
to loot someone's gold because that's just very obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd walk out with all that, grab Eve's rapier, and end up handing that to her and taking the loot to wherever the group is meeting.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like that was on the steps, and then we kind of, we go to you handing off the rapier, and then yeah, I guess Solus is heading to the river keep with the guards, with Presidia and Flavian. So who's going with him? Who's staying at the council building for now? We can kind of jump around scenes a little bit for the end here, and Nathan, I don't know if you want to do the council stuff tonight or find another off night, but
an off night would be fine. I think some of it would probably just be introductions this first time, but there are other topics that he will want to bring up with a lot of the folks there.
Yeah.
So if we just wanted to do he introduces himself to people and whatnot this time, and then meet up wherever, that probably makes sense.
Right. So I think before everyone leaves, yeah, Flavian comes up next to you, Eve, and says he doesn't turn towards you. He's not acting like he's speaking directly to you. He just walks up next to you and he says, he'll lead, showing the Emperor to the old Emperor's quarters. It's been some time since anyone was in them. And he's being a little awkward. If you want to give me a perception check, Eve.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Okay.
Me, when I get to Adam's old bedroom, change these sheets.
And tear down those trellises up to the window.
Okay. I don't know if you catch it. I don't know if you catch it exactly what he's getting at, but
Yeah.
Let's see. I think he just says that, and then he'll start walking off. He made a point to say that in earshot next to you, to say that to himself. So
I'll just be like, well, yeah, he's the new emperor, wouldn't he?
yeah. Yeah, he doesn't clarify, I suppose, but he walks away. If we the out of game thing is the old emperor is body man essentially. Probably knew that there was a thing going on. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Eve did not pick up on that then.
Okay. So then, yeah, I think we jump to the river keep. Whoever wants to be there can be there. We kind of see Dukius being put, see him being led down to the dungeons, and it's they're bringing in some extra torches, so it's a little more well lit than usual, lighting the ones that are down there. No one's been down there in a while. And we see them putting him in one of the cells there. Saying something about bringing food shortly, and then I think we jump to higher in the keep. Flavian is leading you, Solus, into kind of there's a more than just the Emperor's room. There's a whole private wing basically where the Emperor just lives and does his thing, separate to kind of the main hall, and yeah. So there's he leads you into kind of the bedroom proper, I guess, and there's it's a little dusty in here, but it's very finely furnished, and it looks like it hasn't been touched. There's still there's papers on the desk. There's a chest, kind of a footlocker at the end of the bed, and all of the Emperor's stuff is still here, really.
Well, he didn't have like an ancestral home, right? So like,
Right.
and his people, he doesn't have people.
Right.
So there's nowhere to put any of this stuff.
Yeah,
And he
it's
kind
like
of just made people.
Well,
Right.
yeah, but like those aren't people who went on to like start a new culture and like it's very different from
right. The emperor was probably more isolated than most people, and so yeah, they just like Flavian didn't know like what to do with this stuff, so just like we'll leave it here, and like I guess we'll let the new emperor decide.
I'm sure there's something I can use here.
He nods, blank.
Though I need to completely change this mattress and the bedding. I can't.
It must have been scrubbed with blood.
True. So like he kind of nods. He's like, I will put a requisition for such items in.
How much is that going to cost to you? I know I'm the emperor, but that doesn't put me above having to pay for goods and services.
He kind of thinks, and he's like, I can put together a figure once we are done with a list of things that need to be changed. But
Of course. Right. Thank you, Flavian.
the groundskeeper of the River Keep does have a budget of his own.
Oh, this wasn't Flavian. This was a guy who works for Flavian.
Oh no, he's talking kind of in third person, like a weirdo.
Oh, okay. That's acceptable.
He's like about to excuse himself, and then he kind of stops, and he's like, "There's some. The Emperor had a lot of secrets, a lot of compiled information here. I have not gone through it. No one has gone through it. This wing has been sealed until today."
Well, like I said, I will begin organizing it and such.
He nods.
There are many things we have to take care of, so if there's anything here, if there's anything useful, it'll probably be here.
Yeah, and I think he'll bow. It's like, if you'll excuse me, I will have the staff begin cleaning this wing and have one of them fetch me if you need.
Thank you. You are excused.
He nods, stands up, and walks away. And other than the moment in the council chamber where he like knelt before you, he's still been a little cold, and that's just continuing for now. So
That's
little bit-
fine. I
little
don't
distant.
need him to be my friend.
yeah, no, totally. So yeah, and if no one has anything else that we want to handle before we take off here, I think we'd like jump to like Ludwig, kind of probably like scooting into a chair, talking to one of the council members, leaning over the table. Jump to maybe like Eve still sitting on the steps, just like looking at the city, maybe towards the River Keep. Who knows? And then Sonus, I don't know where are you at? What's the final scene for you look like? Are you maybe like looking at the emblem that you've got? Are you like,
Yeah, I think Sonus would be kind of inspecting it, and he's trying to think of possibilities as to how he might become the leader
sure?
of the Bronze Starters, except it's not necessarily out of wanting to be honestly, the only reason he's like, oh, that could give me some good notoriety or like good publicity.
Do you want to go talk to like the lodge leader of the like? I think you probably know him. He's probably been the guy here. He would be next in line. And he's probably been around long enough that you know him.
Yeah.
And probably you were friendly with him at some point.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think Sonus isn't becoming the leader of the Bronze Starters is not his end goal by any means. So if this lodge leader really like pushes and wants to end up being the next guy, Sonus isn't gonna fight him too much.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe like we see like looking at the emblem, and then it, like zooms out, and you're like outside the lodge. Maybe like do you hesitate at all before going into this lodge? You haven't been in here in like probably years. Probably
Yeah. I think Sonus would hesitate just a little bit. Look at the emblem and then just kind of push his way through the doors.
Yeah, and there's like a push through the doors. We hear the sound of like shouting and drinking and general revelry and bar sounds. This is raucous in there, and like through the door we see like kind of this big like burly human man. Looks he's aged a lot more than you have. He looks like over to see who's entering, and we see it through the door, kind of like around Sonus, and then like kind of just like a neutral look on his face, and his eyes widen a little. He looks surprised, and he like he's been like leaning over his counter, and he starts to kind of straighten up, and we just see like this look of surprise as like the door closes behind you, and I think that's kind of where we'll cut it. That'll be it for today.
That's cool with me. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Nice.
Well,
I'm assuming we can just take care of that in like a side session.
I think
at
so.
the
Yeah.
same the same time that we're doing Ludwig stuff.
There's a lot of general cleanup around this, so if you guys want to talk anything out this week, I don't know. I'll probably have time on Sunday, Monday, in there
Cool.
somewhere. So, thank you guys for playing. I really enjoyed all the stuff this session. It wasn't super explosive. You guys
I think we covered so much ground to make it not super explosive, though.
Right. You guys have the big social stuff. You guys always have like really solid, good plans, and I always like I don't want to undermine those just because I happen to know about them ahead of time. I try to find like ways to challenge them, and I don't know. It's
Cool.
good prep. So yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah.
I will be back in a minute.
Yeah, I think there's tacos waiting for me.
Solid.
Ooh.
Jealous.
Yeah, I'm heading out. Good night, guys.
Okay, see ya.
Later, man.
See you, Grad.
Okay, well, that was that was a session. A little bit short. Tried to like pack a lot in. Not super combat heavy, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you everyone who happened to lurk and hang out, and I will catch you all later. I'm playing Persona 5 tomorrow. I'm gonna try real hard to do that, and maybe we're doing Microscope for like the reviews channel, the course channel, D&D session on Saturday. That might be here, so I will talk more about that on Twitter as it comes up. And other than that, I will catch you guys around. I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully soon after that. I'm just gonna send you guys over to Core. Corey's gonna be playing Persona 5. So, yeah. Have a good night, everyone.